What's going on, fellow knife sharpening enthusiasts? I don't know how to start these things, but we're going to find a good one. So I got some new stones in the mail. I'd mentioned on my other video that I was going to give these a shot. This is the Sharpal 1K, 6K Splash and Go stones. They come in this this little case here. It's kind of like the Shapton Kuramaku case. A little piece of foam separates them. They were rubber banded up, and they come with this little like angle guide or whatever. It's got rubber feet. It's actually a pretty good case. It's hinged, and then yeah, you get your stones wrapped in plastic. So the first thing I did, I'll show you the case real quick. You got a rubber foot or bottom or base or whatever. And then on top, where you set your stone, it's actually rubberized too. So this thing is in there pretty solid if you don't have like a setup like this with the water and the holder, stone holder and whatnot. But when I first got it, which was earlier yesterday, sorry. This morning I wanted to give it a real quick run just to make sure there's nothing wrong with it right before I started and needed to send it back to Amazon. Which, by the way, I got it on Amazon for $34. So anyway, so I took this knife here, which is one of those cheapy Japanese steel santokus here, stainless steel, and I just gave it a quick little few passes. Well, because it was the first one, I hadn't sharpened in a couple days, it was the first one of the day. I guess whenever I was making a pass, I had come back and maybe, I don't know if I tilted too much this way or maybe moved it too far horizontally. I don't know what I did. I do know that there were two significant gouges in the stone itself right away. I mean, and they were pretty deep. So a user on Reddit had said that, they got terrible feedback, and I guess I would kind of agree with that at that juncture, right? So I'm going to test it some more. It could have been completely my fault being half asleep because I did it first thing when I woke up and whatnot. But once I got that corrected and moving along, it felt better. And it actually, I mean, it cuts. You'll see here in a minute. It cuts really fast. So the yellow is the 1K. The white is the 6K. I haven't done anything with the 6K at all yet. So the other thing is whenever I went to use my diamond plates to get out that giant gash, which was, like I said, there was two of them. I used, at first, my Chef Knives to Go 140 diamond plate here, 140 grit. The only thing I use this for is flattening stones. I don't do any knife sharpening on it. I don't do anything, repair, nothing. I put it on this stone, gave it a couple of quick pushes while it was wet, and it had this paste that came off of the stone, super thick, like it was the craziest thing. It was like I was making like mud that I could just throw onto stuff. I could scoop it up with a trowel. That was almost how much it was. And it caused the stone, of course, to stick to the surface. So I had to literally maneuver the stone, the diamond plate, to get it off. That's happened before on that Pro Yan 2K Chinese glass stone. It's done the same thing when I first got it and I first lapped it, and it did the same thing. So I don't know. That's not a very promising start. I did get it though, where what I did was I lightened up my pressure. I didn't like push hard, but I lightened up the pressure I was using with the 140 plate on this stone. And then I hit it with my Atoma 400 just to kind of smooth out any gouges left from the 140. And that was fine with super light pressure. I re-chamfered the edges and stuff, so we're going to give her a shot. So it's a splash and go, like I said. Don't need to soak it. It does seem like it kind of soaks up water a little bit. I've had other splash and goes that say their splash and goes do that. Again, another example, I hate to keep referring back to it, but that Chinese Pro Yan glass stone is a splash and go, and it does the same thing where it'll actually draw the moisture in. You can see it's kind of doing it now. And I guess I mean, it's a stone, or synthetic or not, it's a stone. I guess they're all going to do that to a degree, but my Shaptons don't really do that except for the lower grits, like the 120 and whatnot, and they don't even really do it that much. I'm going to get started here in a second because I know I talk a whole lot sometimes. I just want to get all the information out for you guys. The other thing is it's very friable. So what I mean by that is whenever I sharpened or tested a little bit earlier, didn't completely sharpen, it shed a lot of grit as I was sharpening, which, I mean, that's fine. Every stone does that, but this was a lot. I would probably liken this to if you've ever used the Shapton Kuramaku 120 grit. There's a lot of the stone's grit that comes off when you're sharpening with it. It's almost the same thing, just this is 1000 grit. So just to give you guys a demonstration real quick, here's just a piece of magazine paper. I mean, it's catching, but this thing's, it's not sharpening, it's not cutting anything. Like I would run my hand over it, no problem. I did get my green screen kind of set up. I'm taking all my old streaming stuff and getting it slowly moved into this room to create videos, so it doesn't look the greatest, but we're getting there, guys. So you're gonna see some funny stuff, like here, look, my hand's going through my head and it's there. So, I will have all my pro cameras and stuff set up at some point, but anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you. So those watching this video that are first time sharpeners or trying to learn how, this isn't going to be a complete tutorial on how to sharpen. This is more a review of this stone, or this stone set, right, and how it functions. I'll go over some of the techniques and whatnot. Not all of them. We'll do this in another video. I'll create another video later using my Amakusa stone, because I want to do a video on that, but someone also requested like how it works, like because they have one, they don't get good results with theirs, and I finally found out to get it with mine. So after this, I'm going to do another video and I'll upload that later. Other than that, the packaging, as with all Sharpal products, Sharpal, whatever, I was impressed. I mean, it was very well packaged. I got no complaints there. The only thing I'm worried about is how soft this stone seems to be. So anyway, without further ado, Santoku profile, it's been dulled. We're going to do both the 1000 and the 6000. This is Japanese 420J steel, and I'm just going to go to town. So like I said, it has been lapped, flattened, gouge fixed with the chef knives to go 140 diamond and the Atoma 400. No Nagaras to surface it or whatever. Anyway, here we go. So as my normal sharpening procedure, I'm just going to do, well, because I dulled it, I'm going to give it 20 strokes per section. As I said before, I like to break it up in 4 sections. Sometimes I'll do 3 depending on how I feel, but just 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we'll start and go here. Right away you can see, like, and I'll show you, it doesn't seem like it loads up very well. I shouldn't say very well. It doesn't load up very much. And I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to do a complete pass. I'm going to move to the next section here. Because at first I was like, oh man, this is going to be one of those stones that loads up a great deal. I mean, it sounds really good too, right? So, but you'll see here, that wipes right off with my fingers, no problems. I'm going slow because of the gouge that I experienced earlier. I don't want to repeat, and I don't know if it's because I was in a hurry and I just wasn't really paying attention. I don't know. But we're going to go slow for now, and we're going to just focus on catching a burr here. So it feels good, like I said a little bit ago. It does not feel like a cheap stone. If I had to compare this to another 1000, I would say probably my King 1000. The King 1000 has a better feel and a better feedback feel, but the King 1000 and this have a similar feel and a sound. It's kind of that pasty sound. So right there's a lot of grit that I'm pulling off here with my fingers after just getting some water to kind of clean it up and show you that it's not loaded up. It is indeed just steel removal, which that also shows how much it's actually removing here. So there it is, completely with water and just rubbing my fingers on it. It is completely clean. And that's one of the things I noticed earlier, and that's pretty impressive. I do have a small burr. It's not a big burr, but I mean, that's pretty quick too, right? So we'll just go ahead and do another set of passes. I don't know what to expect from the 6K. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous. But while we're doing this too and getting through this first set of passes here, so the contest is live, as I'd mentioned before, and it's not, you don't really have to do anything, just be a subscriber. So with that subscription, once we reach 500 subscribers to the channel, I'll do a drawing. And during that drawing, I've decided what I'm going to do is a Nakiri, however you say that, one of these inexpensive Japanese ones, as well as a Gyoto. So I'm going to give a chance for 2 people to win knives, and I will also do a stone giveaway. So what I'll do is not probably, let's just make a decision here. I'll give away, we'll do a King 1000. So I'll do that. And if you already have a King, maybe we can talk about it, and I'll see if there's something else that piques your interest if you're a winner. So the total things that we'll be giving away is 1 Nakiri, inexpensive Japanese knife, 1 of the Gyotos from the same line of knives, and then a King 1000 grit stone, and that's at 500. At 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away probably a VG10. We'll go for a VG10 knife at that point. And then at 2,000 subscribers, we'll go for a Shiragami steel knife, either a Gyoto or a Kiritsuke, if I'm saying that right. I know I'm going to slaughter all these names of these knife styles, but you'll just have to forgive me or correct me, tell me how to say it properly, right? All right, so again, I got a pretty good burr, and looking at the actual bevel here, it actually looks pretty good. I don't know. That looks like a really good scratch pattern. For what I could see, the water kind of gets on it, you know. Let's see here. See if I can do it in the light you guys can see with me. You may not be able to, and that's fine. Just have to take my word for it. All right, well, we've got a really good burr. I'm going to go ahead and give it one more pass. I'm going to leave some of this, like, grit and stuff and slurry up here and just see if that kind of helps it a little bit. And we'll just get her moving. The reason I decided to make this video about these stones is I've mentioned it on Reddit, and I was looking, I've always looked for a very good, or at least an usable, inexpensive water stone set. A long time ago when I first started out, I didn't want to drop a bunch of money on synthetic stones, and I didn't even know that I was going to continue hand sharpening because, I mean, I wasn't any good at it. I didn't know how. I never was taught proper technique. It was just like, here's a stone, just put it on the stone and sharpen it, same on both sides, right? And I'm like, okay. So I was never very good at all at sharpening, and so I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. I didn't want to spend a bunch of money and then have it sit in a corner or give it away or throw it away or whatever, right? And so I was kind of looking for the inexpensive stone set, and what I ended up buying was, well, I'll show you guys. And I can't believe I still have it, to be honest, but why not? It's one of these, and it looks like the Sharp Pebble set, but it is not the Sharp Pebble set. I use it to dull my knives now. I don't really use it for much sharpening, but believe it or not, I used it the other day, and it really kind of does a decent job at sharpening knives. I use it as kind of like my junk stone, so to speak. If you got a stone that you don't care about, that's a good thing, because you can kind of do whatever you want. If you're testing things out, or if you want to like go hard on a stone or something like that would work. I think I paid 19 bucks for it. Came with a bamboo base, a cheap fixer stone, which is nothing more than probably a 400 grit stone that's been kind of cut off. I'm focusing on this spot real quick just to make sure the burr is kind of even. Anyway, it did an okay job, but I didn't really get good results. So it kind of almost made me give up. So ever since then, I've been on a quest to find a good stone that I can recommend, or set of stones I can recommend to someone who's either getting started or still is kind of like on the fence, without breaking the bank, and they can learn on. And there are, I mean, there's plenty of stuff that's out there that's good. Like the king stones are really good. But I was just kind of looking for something like this, right, that has the container and the angle guide to help them out and whatnot. And it's a trusted brand. All right. Man, we got a pretty good burr. If you guys have any recommendations, again, aside of the king variants, because I already know that that's a good one to recommend. What do you guys recommend? I know the Suhiro Sirax, I believe it is. They're inexpensive. But yeah, whatever you, excuse me, by the way, whatever you guys recommend, I'd be glad to hear it. Just post it up in the comments. All right, so right here, nope, I thought I had gouging. I don't. It's just a rough spot. I was like, man, right away, there we go. We don't. I'm just making sure I'm feeling the whole stone. And I gotta say, I didn't need to go that third pass, but that's a really good burr. And I mean, it feels really good. Huh. Anyway, so back to stones. Whatever you recommend. Sorry, I get sidetracked sometimes. Those that don't know, that are starting out, maybe want a few tips again. Like I said, I'll do that. The angle at which you hold your knife, it's always good to make sure you're right about this. Can you see it even? Yeah. Right about this 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock. You don't ever want to be this, like 6 o'clock. You don't, I know that wasn't quite, but you don't want to be horizontal if you can help it. And you're going to see in a minute, I will go horizontal for a few passes once I get up to the heel. But that's because I don't sharpen the same way on the left side. I just flip it over and I'll show you here in a second, do it on the back side like this. I'm still learning. I've almost got it. But again, I don't want to embarrass myself too much in front of you guys right now. So we're just going to keep doing it the way that I know and works. But yeah, if you do it too much like this, I mean, you can do it. It's not going to hurt much, but you stand more of a chance of possibly gouging your stone, or digging your blade in. Even if you don't gouge the stone and it's harder stone, you can still damage your edge. So anyway, it's always good to have a nice angle. And supposedly, again, I don't know, I've not personally tested that. Supposedly, the angle like this that you're sharpening at, instead of being just like, straight up and down vertical lines, and more of a 45-ish or so degree angle, will supposedly help with slicing. That's just, again, that's what's out there on the internet, and the internet doesn't lie, right? So anyway, same thing on this side. I just find the same angle, same process. Just work the tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels. And then we'll move on down to the lower part, the meat and the potatoes. So flipping it over on the burr side now. Again, it's a little rough sounding, a little rough feeling, like I said, kind of like that King 1000 feels. But man, I mean, look at the metal it's pulling off of here. Let me get close so you can hear. It's kind of got like that. Well, I guess because it is, I was going to say like that corundum or whatever kind of sound, but that's what it is. So, and here you can see I'm doing the horizontal just for a few strokes. And that's because I can't, that's about the angle as far as I can go to get this edge, because of the handle. I've seen people like Ivan, the sharpener, amazing sharpener, by the way. He takes handles off of the knives that he sharpens. That's something I would maybe think about doing at some point. I mean, not right now, but that could be a way to see if I could do it like this without having to go straight horizontal. I say it every video, and it's a good reminder. Even though you flipped it over, you're going to get a very quick burr the first time after you've done this side here. You flip it over. That burr development is going to be quick because you just fold that metal right over really quickly. So it's going to be there because it's folded over. That doesn't mean you're done. You should always spend the same amount of time on the sides that you do on like each. So the first side, if you spend 3 complete passes, Do 3 complete passes on the opposite side. That way you've got equal sharpening. I'm not putting very much pressure on the blade. Like if you think about it, when I set my angle and I put my hand on it, and then I might give it a little bit more of a push with my fingertips. I don't know, maybe a pound or two. I really couldn't tell you. I've never measured it. But you don't want to, like, especially with this stone being soft, you don't want to like press and dig in, because you will dish it and you will dig it out. So definitely don't recommend that. So yeah, that grit is definitely there. Very friable. And that kind of makes me think that these stones, I mean, I don't want to say that, because I don't know. But I don't think that they'll last as long as like your Shaptons will. So that's something you got to take into consideration whenever basing purchase off of like how long it's going to last you. And if you don't sharpen very much, it doesn't matter. If you're not like a pro sharpener out there sharpening knives for 10 clients every other day and doing this all week, then it's not going to matter. But then again, you're not going to have these stones if you're doing that anyway. That's actually something important to point out. So when I just scooped the slur, well, hell, there it is right there too. So that shows you how soft this stone is. Make sure you can see this. It's kind of like a clay. Like, I'll just kind of, whoop, there it is on my finger. It's kind of drowned out by the light there that I'm using to guide myself. But yeah, it's like a paste. And that's what it was whenever I was flattening the stone earlier. So, and again, I don't feel any gouges. This is just the natural order of things with how this stone is. And again, that makes me think that this isn't going to last forever, clearly. But like my Shaptons, I don't know that I can like flatten them enough to be too thin to use before I'm dead. You know, so I think that stone will probably last me and my son for as long as he's alive, I'd imagine. But yeah, that paste. So that, man, that's an awful lot of this stone coming off of here too, right? The my cheap fixer from Sharp Pebbles over there that I use to kind of straighten this out. I'll show you too. It gets all gunked up in the stone's pores because they're just really porous, rough stones, coarse stones. I'm gonna go one more pass. Kind of maybe feel a little dishing here. I don't know. That's really tough to call because when you rub your fingers over it a certain way, it's almost like speed bumps a little bit. It's not that bad, but that's the best way for me to describe it. But still, man, look at us pull off the metal. It is a fast cutter. I'll give it that. There's no doubt about it. That I am pleased with. And I don't want to critique it too hard. I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world here. I guess I'm too used to quality and running quality things that sometimes I get a little harsh with my judgments of things. But it's good though. I mean, keep these manufacturers honest, you know. You don't want them out here selling junk to newbies that are going to end up not continuing on with this hobby or this trade, this tool, right, that helps them to sharpen their own knives. Anyway, that's my rant. All right, so now that we're done with that, we're going to do edge leading strokes just to kind of take off the burr. Actually, it did this to me earlier too, so let me see if it'll do it now. It like chews off the the burr, even on this cheap steel. And again, there's no loading. And I have a theory, now that I've kind of used this a little bit. I think the reason there's no loading and you can wipe it off with your hands the way that I've been doing is because it's so friable and so much comes off as you sharpen that, I mean, that's what happens whenever you use like a rust eraser or a fixer stone, which I think mine's over there. You're taking off a little bit of material and removing the gunked up material. So I think that's probably why. Don't quote me on that. Don't know. It's just a theory. A game theory. Sorry, Matt Patton. Trademark, I'm sure, right? I'm going to be in trouble. All right, so we just set our angle that we were sharpening at. Well, again, super, super light pressure, especially now. And I just drag it, edge leading. It's kind of like a reverse drop. You can see some metal trail there. So that this way, and then both sides considers one. I like to do it starting off 5 strokes, 5 complete passes, whatever. Then I check to see if the burr has been removed. Again, very light pressure. So there's 2. Man, you can, this you really have to be careful with. I can feel it wanting to cut into the stone. So I'm going to make sure I've got kind of more angles here. When I get to the tip, it really does it. And I do believe that this is an easy gouger. So honestly, I was going to say I don't know if I would recommend it for beginning sharpeners, but if you are a beginner and you're wanting to use this stone, just be careful. Go slow. You don't have to go fast and speed through it. There's no rule that says you got to go fast or slow. I would recommend if you're a first timer anyway or still relatively new to go slow. You'll make less mistakes that way. You'll have to correct less mistakes that way. You'll kind of learn the feel of things better if you're going slower instead of hurrying through and just trying to get to the finish line, right? So there's 5. I believe that burr is pretty well gone, but I'm going to give it 5 more because I just really feel that it could be with a little bit more pressure. A little bit, I feel that it could be better. So this time I'm going to do a little differently. I'm going to do 2 thumbs here, still kind of holding that angle. I'm going to push with a little more pressure, and then I'm just going to guide it over that way. Same thing on this side. So just push, a little guide, push. As you can see, again, I'm going slow. I'm being intentional about my movements. I'm being intentional about my pressure. And then just moving forward. Some people don't like it because it's not fast enough for them. And that's okay. That's quite all right. But I get good results every time, except for the times that I jam my freaking edge into a stupid clamp. I'll never forget that. I showed that to my wife, and I'll never live it down. I think I missed a tip on that one, but that's fine. It's fine. Let's just feel. So that is better. I took off more of the burr, which is what we're doing there. You can do the same thing by running the blade through like balsa wood, a cork. You could do it through like that hard felt, just gently. You don't want to like put a lot of pressure on it. You kind of want to let the knife's own weight be the only pressure that you have for that. And then that way it removes the burr. But remember what it does is it removes the burr forcefully. And when it removes it forcefully, you get more of a toothy, kind of a jagged edge, where this way it can give you a smoother style edge. Things are getting wet because I'm getting a little out of control, I think. All right, so now we're going to do stropping strokes. These are going to be edge trailing. Sorry, almost lost my train of thought there. Not edge leading, but edge trailing. Those other ones were edge leading. So now the edge is going to trail the direction you're going. So we'll just go ahead. I'll do this again 5 times as well. I make a J pattern, and again, like I said last time, I don't know why. I just do. And then this way is just a horizontal reverse of what we were doing with the other direction and trying to remove the burr. Man, even just these gentle little stropping strokes, I'd be willing to bet if I looked at that under my microscope that it would be quite filled with grit, because I can feel it with my fingers. Let's just see. I'm going slow. I forget I got to go to a 6,000 grit. It's going to be a 6-hour video if I talk forever. Sorry, guys. If you guys have any recommendations, again, like I said, please post them down below. One of the things I've been doing is buying or trading, right, or whatever, obtaining different 1K stones, because I've got, you know, your basics, and I've got your staples, right? I've got your Shaft and Glass and the Pro, 1Ks. I got the Rashiyama 1K, so on and so forth. But I want to find, because sometimes you'll find a stone works better with certain steels. And some work this way, some work that way, right? I'm going to show you guys something here. I'll talk to you while I go and get my rust eraser. But, so with certain steels working better with other steels, I would like to test several different 1Ks and see what works good for stainless, what works good for carbon, etc., etc. And just kind of, just make content basically and have kind of a dialogue a dialogue about it and a digest of different, of just the different offerings out there. There's so much to choose from, it's crazy. All right, so watch this. I don't need to do this because it's not built up, but if I do this, I'm certain on the bottom of my rust eraser, it's, it's gonna look like I just applied toothpaste. All right, yeah, look at that. So we've got a significant kind of a paste buildup. And that just, again, concerns me for longevity. And that's really stuck in there too. But that's fine. It is what it is. There's ways that you can do things differently to kind of, I don't know, kind of deal with that. Because it's not super thick to begin with. It's thinner, I don't know, I think by like 2 millimeters than the Shapton Kuramaku, the Pro Series, whatever. I don't know. I'll just use it and see how long she lasts. Who knows? It may surprise me and it may last years. I doubt it, but you just never know. All right, so let's go on to the 6000, guys. Let's get this guy out of the way here. So I have not yet used this. Haven't even gotten it wet to see how it reacts or anything. So I did kind of cheat a little bit and did the 1K, but that's just because I was super curious and didn't want to wait. All right, so here's the 1K. It's a white stone. I wonder how much I've actually taken off. So probably not that much. I don't know. That's pretty significant, and I've only used this today. Just for what it is, right? I shouldn't say significant, but for only using it today and leveling it, that's quite a bit gone. I don't know. Anyway. Maybe it's not fair because maybe the 6K is a little thicker to begin with. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll check the measurements and see. Or maybe one of you guys can get one and test it for me and see. All right. So that edge looks okay. I'm kind of mumbling today, you guys, rambling. Sorry about that. Let's go with the 6K. Right away, that surface feels super slick, but also kind of suctiony. Interesting. Let me use some filtered water just to kind of, yeah, you can see right there my fingerprints and stuff. Interesting. All right, 6K, here we go. Let's see if it'll make it shine. Okay. That is grippy. I wonder if there's something on the surface. Let me... Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Let me give it a little scrape with the rust eraser here. Golly. I felt like I was like running it across glue. Is that better? Yeah, see, there's still some, okay, yeah, there's something on that stone. Something coating it, don't know what. This is all happening right here live, guys. Man, there's a gouge right there already. That's from the factory, because I didn't even... Okay, well, let's give it a quick flatten then. Let's go with the Atoma 400 for this guy, being a 6K. Man, that's insanity. Yeah, it's super sticky. Good Lord Almighty. See how that just drags? Man, I don't like it when that happens. That's, oof. So far, these stones aren't winning me over, guys. It doesn't mean they can't redeem themselves. It's just that, so the positives are the 1K is a really good cutter, right? It seemed like it was cutting steel really well. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. That's like, it's almost kind of like pudding or yogurt or something. That's what that feels like. Man, I wonder if these have like some kind of protective coating over them. Well, it's possible. We'll see. I'll tell you though that flattening or removing that and flattening it actually feels smoother and better than the 1K did, that's for sure. Let's chamfer the edges. Super. Look at that, it doesn't even want to come out of the Atoma. I'm such an OCD freak about this stuff. It's probably noisy as all get out in the video, and I apologize for that, guys. Let me rinse this over here in my clean water. Good Lord. Yeah, so that, I actually saw those gouges. They didn't seem that bad to me when I first looked at it, but whenever I examined it, whenever I opened the package, I saw those gouges, and they just seemed to be somewhat insignificant, but I guess they're not. But, round 2 here. All right, guys, let's give it a shot. Man, that's insane. All right. Here we go. Hopefully this can redeem itself a little bit. Okay, so that feels better. It feels kind of glassy. Yeah, that feels really good. So the pressure here is just really light pressure. It's kind of got a little squeak to it. I guess it's dry. I'm going to use this filtered water just to kind of keep it a little fair and a little, keep the, because I'm sure there's a ton of 1000 grit particles in that water. Man. I don't know, guys. So far, it's kind of I don't really recommend this. And again, this is just based on what's currently happening and what I've currently been feeling with this. How does it load up? There's another gouge. Oh my gosh. That's in the path of the strokes, so that could be from just using it. Here's the yellow from when I flattened the 1000 grit. I'm going to run this over it. Good Lord Almighty. I guess my little holder stuff isn't sitting in there. There we go. I don't know if these will show up, but there are some significant gouges there. And they were gone. Yeah, if your stone's continually diving like that and losing, you have to lose material because of the fact that you're fixing it all the time. That's not, I don't recommend that at all. I don't know if they've got something wrong with their formula. I don't know if there's a different technique they require for these. I don't know. Man, that's crazy that now it's gone. Huh. You're seeing it live here, guys. Well, live. You're seeing it recorded, but I'm not cutting and splicing and editing nothing. All right, so we have no more gouges yet again. Let me go ahead and take these edges. But I can't recommend that if you're having to stop every 5 minutes and repair gouges. I mean, sure, I could sharpen around those. That's not a problem. But man, all right, let's try it again. I'm going to change my angle a little bit, and I'm going to change the degree I'm holding out here. I guess I'm going to hold it about 4 o'clock, I guess. So hardly any pressure on the blade itself. Just resting my fingers, somewhat guiding it, making sure that I hold this angle. I tell you, I don't have hopes for it. I will say that the 1000 grit stone, I had to take out significant gouges that I put in them from the first time I used it, and I didn't get any after I flattened it. So maybe it's got a really soft top layer. That's super possible. Okay, I don't feel any gouges. I adjusted my angle. Everything's fine. Okay. Just so you guys know, I may edit just for time's sake. I'll leave in the important stuff. But if you see this and you hear me say that I may edit for time's sake, what I edited out was just a lot of nonsense that was irrelevant, such as me rinsing out my diamond plate. So this is not sticky anymore. It was super sticky. Like, I couldn't use it. I was extremely frustrated with it. But it is not sticky. It's gliding. And I hate to keep comparing it back to the Kings, but if you guys have used a King 6000 like the KDS or the KW65 with the 1000, 6000, it feels just like that King 6000 at this point. So again, the load up here doesn't appear to be a ton of load up. It does appear to be some, but a majority of that is washing out with just me rubbing my fingers on it. So that's not bad. I am seeing a mirror develop on the edge here. I'm going to give it one more pass, which will be 3 in total. It's not really burr development, but you're not really developing burrs at this stage. I mean, you are, but they're small, right? Your lower grit stones, your 1Ks, 800s, 600s, etc., etc. They develop significant burrs because they are heavy cutters. When you get into the finer stones, they do develop burrs, but it's very small because these are polishing your edge and just removing those scratch patterns that you put in with the lower grit stones. I almost feel like I should have done a progression and not gone 1K, 6K, but if I'm completely honest, you know, a lot of sets are sold 1K, 6K, and your combo stones are 1K, 6K. So this is sold as a 1K, 6K as well. That's what they're meaning for you to do with it, I guess. All right, so that's a pretty good looking polish on that edge. And if you guys remember, it would not cut paper, right? We're about to that point. So I'm just going to flip the side. I'm just going to quickly get this side done. Oop, come here, you. Sorry for the kind of all over the place video this time. I'm usually a little better prepared, but I was kind of taken back a little bit by these stones. Honestly, I wasn't prepared for them to be, I don't want to say this bad, but this bad. I think they have their place, but based on what I've done so far without testing the edge they produce, there's a lot of problems with them. I think they need to formulate them and make them a little harder. They need to obviously keep the same grit, but make the stones a little bit harder, more robust. I mean, look at the Shaptons. Those are inexpensive for what they are, the Koromakus, and they're harder. They don't have these kinds of problems. I will say feedback on this one's not bad. Man. But if you're a first timer and you're using these stones, you're going to get frustrated and you're probably going to give up, if I'm being honest. I don't know why I keep saying that, because I'm always honest. I'm always going to give it straight. I'm never going to shill or nothing. There's a lot. Again, this is a cutter, just like that 1K. You can see there's so much metal. Let's see. There's not really the paste on the knife, like with the 1K, how I could pull the paste off after running it on the stone. You don't really have that with this one, and that's good. All right. That's actually, man, I will say, the mirror that I'm looking at on that opposite side from my first side, and that's kind of amazing. Let me see if I can show you guys. I was not expecting this. I was expecting kind of a hazy kind of a thing. And provided this thing's got a good edge and it cuts, maybe I will recommend this for those that have some experience. I still don't know about for beginners, but let's see. May need to turn this off, but let's do it with the light on first here. Be like Motel 6, leave the light on for you. See if you guys can see that. That's, yeah, you can kind of see it there. That's insane. For this little $34 1K, 6K set of stones. Yeah, that's a pretty good looking mirror. Let me see if this turn this light off does any better. You can kind of see that. Seeing it in person is going to be way better, of course. All right, let's take that burr off, what is there, which I don't believe is much. And we'll give her a cut test and see. All right, here we go. I'm not going to do very much on this stone because, again, there wasn't a big burr developed. Right now, what I'm feeling, that's pretty choice. I will say that. Maybe these stones need just a break in. That's possible. That's not uncommon for, like, for example, diamond plates. You need to break in a diamond plate before you use it. Maybe you need to break in these Sharpal stones. Maybe I'm going to eat my words here. So maybe what it needs to do is it needs to come with a warning that says, hey, lap them out of the box. Like, lap them. Don't just barely run anything over them, but lap them. And then use them. Yeah, no, that feels good. Like, I could see using this particular 6K now that I've kind of gotten it figured out. I mean, I still need to use it on other knives, don't get me wrong. But now that I've gotten it figured out a little bit, maybe I could use this in a progression with certain types of steels, right? Because that feels pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I'm just not going to lie. It's going to be my catchphrase, probably. Did you guys have a good Halloween? Hope so. I got a knife coming in that I'm going to do a video on too. It's a, I don't even want to try and pronounce the name. I have to look it up. It's not in front of me. But it's a Aogami #2 Bunka, 165 millimeter. I can't wait to give that bad boy a shot. I'm going to do cut tests with it, and then I'm going to sharpen it, and then do tests with it and just see how sharp we can get it. I don't have a best tester. I will get one at some point. Man, I got to look at this edge under this microscope here. This, all of a sudden, I'm kind of a fan of this 6K at least. Holy crap. That has completely almost, well, not completely, a great deal vanished those those scratch patterns, or scratch lines. Oh my gosh. All right, let's grab us a piece of paper. First, I'm going to grab the same one that we did at the beginning with here. Let's just see. Is it bad? Is it good? Is it indifferent? Holy shit. It's curled up on me, otherwise that would have went right on through. That. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to get a new sheet here. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't be bad-mouthing these stones because this thing was completely dead and dull, right? So here we go. Let's do the old push cut, huh? Oh my God. So, I mean, these stones, they kind of redeemed themselves that way. My God. Let's do it this way here. Let push on, let's do the top. This could be something as far as just my technique goes. Again, it was curving and that spot got a little wet, so maybe I'll do it here. Oh, don't want to do that. And that kind of caught, but and that could just be that there's burr still there or whatever. But you saw it, it pushed cut in the middle for sure. And this is like, oops. Well, come on now. Here, let's do this. Let's do a little strop real quick. I don't think you can see that strop. You know what, I'll do my homemade strop. Let's do that. A couple of quick little strop strokes just to remove. This is Jinda Industries 0.5 micron diamond emulsion on a strop that I was testing. I mean, it's just some like really inexpensive Amazon craft leather because I forge knives and stuff too, and I make sheaths. I just wanted to see if this would make a good strop, and it is. I mean, it does the job anyway. All right, let's take a look now. Wipe off anything there. Always wipe off the knife. You never know what could be there. All right, try again. Shit, that's insane. Oh, gotta hold on to the paper, dum-dum. The whole thing's wet. I don't know if I had water splash over here or what. All right, here we go. Yeah. Like, holy cow. Ooh. I don't know. It needs a little bit more work, that's for sure. But I will say that that's far sharper than it was when we started. It was completely dull. So yeah, that's insanity. I don't know that I could really recommend these stones for sure. I can't sit here and tell you that these are great stones, because they're not. I've had nothing but problems with them so far. I don't know. You may have more frustration to deal with by getting them than anything else. If I'm completely honest, you know, I may edit this real quick and I may say, look, if you're a beginner, go out and get yourself the King KDS 1000, 6000. You're going to have a better result. You're going to have better luck. If you're, I mean, if you've been sharpening for a while and you kind of want to get some different stones and some beaters that are cheap that you can do certain things on, that you're not going to worry about whether or not you hurt or destroy your stones, yeah, I think these would be good for $34. They were on sale a couple weeks back for, I believe it was 29 bucks. I definitely recommend it at 29 bucks. I mean, if nothing else, you get a decent holder and some stones that you can just throw some junk steel at, you know what I mean? Yeah, if you've been sharpening for a little bit, give it a shot. Pick them up if you want some stones that you're not afraid to get dirty, so to speak. If you're a new sharpener, don't get them. You're going to have a big headache. You're probably going to give up on sharpening. and walk away mad and losing money. So anyway, that's my review of the Sharpal 140H Splash and Go stones. Not the best review. Had some issues, but hey, that's what makes it organic, right? So contest, again, giveaway. We're going to give away some knives and some stones, or a stone. At 500 subscribers, we're going to give away better stuff at 1,000, and at 2,000 we're going to give away a really good Japanese knife. So anyway, go ahead and subscribe down below, leave a comment, tell me your favorite stones, ask me questions, whatever you want. Look forward to seeing you guys around. Appreciate you.